My name is Steve Chong.
And I am Jennifer Interiano with Realty International.
Now we're here today to give you a midsummer peak season real estate report for South Florida, specifically Miami.
Yes, and we're here enjoying our summer weather. It's nice and rainy, and it's actually not so hot today, so it's a good day to be doing this.
Okay, you know what, on a personal note, I'm from the Midwest originally. This is a beautiful day in the Midwest, so...
You're not melting?
No, this is beautiful. Now, she's actually from South Florida, so for her, this is a bad day, so...
Well, it's not so bad because at least my hair is not frizzy all the way, but it is a nice day because we can actually be outside and not melt.
Oh, I love it.
But you know what? I'm from Honduras, raised here in Miami, and it's just as hot, maybe even hotter, so I appreciate Miami weather. All right, let's jump on it.
Now, welcome. This is a general overview of the South Florida marketplace. The aim of this report is to elevate your awareness, boost your clarity, and potentially give you foresight on upcoming trends in this real estate market.
So I think it's known at this point, the whole country, the whole world is watching us. Everyone is just watching how Florida is growing. Everyone is moving. Now, everyone's specifically picking Miami. We can see it on our traffic jams. Before our GPS would say 30 minutes, now it says 45 to an hour, right? So why do you think it's that, Steve?
We are growing, and the numbers actually confirm this. Believe it or not, we are the #1 fastest growing state in all of America. We surpassed Texas. We are #1. Texas is actually #2 at this point. Yes, they agree.
Yes. We're literally being called what? The new Silicon Valley?
Believe it or not, Miami is now being seen as the new Silicon Valley. No longer just in Palo Alto. So many companies, so many tech companies, investment companies are moving here to the Miami area, also Orlando and Tampa.
That is so true. I've been going to Orlando a lot lately, and I have seen so much growth, and a lot of those tech companies are definitely coming down. According to the internet here, it shows that Adobe, Apple, Cisco, eBay, Intel,
Meta, that's Facebook,
yep,
Nvidia,
PayPal, Zoom, everyone is in California. Now, most of these companies are coming down to Florida as well.
So, a company of note is Citadel, major investment firm. Now, Citadel was lured here from the Midwest, once again, my hometown. Major company. Let's see what the internet says about Citadel. Actually, I know the mayor had a big part in luring these big companies to come here to South Florida. So what does it say about Citadel?
Well, according to the internet, it says that Citadel is a $51 billion hedge fund that was founded by Ken Griffin, and they moved to Miami.
So Ken Griffin is actually the wealthiest person, or one of the wealthiest people down here in the Miami area now.
Hey, Steve. So how about we jump into the current market conditions?
Okay, now before we talk about the present and future, let's rewind just a little bit and talk about the past, and let's catch everybody up. So let's talk about 2019. What was going on in 2019?
The market was pretty stable. The houses were in the market for about 3 to 4 months. That was pretty normal in our market. Now, 2020 came around. What happened in 2020, Steve?
Well, 2020, the lockdown happened, and that put a break on everything for a moment.
Everybody was wondering what to do, how to do it, or even how to pay their mortgages, right? So after all of this started happening, then people started getting creative. And that created or brought upon us a huge spike in 2021. People realized that their homes were too big or too small, and then they put things into perspective, and everybody went into a frenzy of buying and selling. Now, the rest of the country, I think, was on panic mode while we continued to grow month after month, month after month. We have been growing. Now on 22, we saw that something happened in the market. What happened?
Well, 2022, we faced a bit of a downturn in the market. 2 consecutive quarters of downturn. Some people call that the R word. We don't want to use that word. Just a bit of a downturn, and we're still stabilizing off from that. And
let me interrupt you there, because I think it just stabilized the market. That's my humble opinion. I think it was just plateauing the market. It just brought everybody back to reality. Now, everybody was spiking up the prices in the houses, and everybody thought that that was the real trend. That was just something that was not normal. What was normal is for houses to have maybe a competitive war in the bidding, and perhaps there was a little bit of negotiating, and perhaps the houses wouldn't last just 24 hours on the market. Sometimes the houses would sit around for maybe a month or 2 or 3, depending on the price of the house. So that's what started to come back in 2022, and that's when people started thinking that we were in recession, or at least Miami. I don't think that that's what happened to Miami. I think Miami, we just kind of stabilized ourselves a little bit.
Okay, I'm glad you mentioned that because we are in a bubble, a big bubble here in South Florida. So how are we in this bubble here?
I think the answer is simple. I mean, everyone wants to be in Miami, right? So because we have a lot of international buyers, investors that are coming in with cash, then there is no real competition right now. People are still buying, people are still selling. So the interest rates are really not affecting the buyers. And if they are, hey, they understand that they can just buy now and refinance later. So why not just take the piece of the paradise that we live in?
So Jennifer, you mentioned the high mortgage rates of today, July 2023. Where are those mortgage rates right now?
Well, last time I checked, it was like about an hour ago. It seems to be at perhaps 6.5 to mid 7%. Now, that is as low as it's going to get today, but you can always refinance your house. So don't let that scare you.
Okay, now, in the past, how high have you seen this mortgage rate?
Well, from what I've heard of people having their mortgage rate maybe at a 10%, 11%. I mean, at that moment, that was normal for them. For us, this is perhaps a little high, but it's really not the highest it's ever been. So
Okay,
don't be scared.
So it's high relatively speaking. Okay. Now, along with these higher mortgage rates, the market, do we have low inventory or high inventory in terms of homes under $1 million?
Right now, it's low. And that just means that it's a seller's market. I mean, there is still room for negotiation. There is still room for just talking. You know, people are not just flooding the streets trying to buy because of the interest rates. But it's definitely a low inventory season right now. This is your chance, just because you just never know where the interest rates are going to really be in the near future. You can always refinance.
Okay, great. Now, in the news recently, I've seen some home building companies, for example, Lennar. I know you have some experience with the Lennar company, and obviously everyone knows Home Depot. Now, these companies are often good indicators of where the housing and overall economy is going here in the United States. Can you tell us a little bit more about Lennar? And actually, what's their stock at right now? What's their outlook? What's the internet saying about that?
I mean, I'm going to have to check real quick, but I can tell you that Lennar, D.R. Horton, they're everywhere. I mean, if you go to Homestead, you'll see a sign from Lennar, you'll see a sign from D.R. Horton, maybe Century. I mean, there's builders everywhere right now. Every time I go to Orlando, I just want to stop and see these developments. They are everywhere. So definitely, I don't see our construction stopping anytime soon. At least in the downtown area here in Wynwood, everywhere, there's buildings popping out of nowhere. Where we thought there was no land, there's a whole building starting up. Wait, you mentioned Home Depot. What about Home Depot?
Well, a little further analysis with the Home Depot outlook. It's not as strong as, let's say, the Lennar outlook. I mean, 2 different stocks there, and here's some of the stock numbers. We'll edit that in here, but the Home Depot outlook is not as strong, so let's be realistic about the future here.
Hold on. So that just makes me wonder, is it because people are not improving their houses that much right now versus just buying? Like, maybe they don't care to fix it and they just want to sell it as is, right? Why not?
We're gonna have to do a video on the whole home improvement market. We got the Home Depot, we have Lowe's, Menards. Okay, so we talked about some current market conditions. Now let's talk about some could be better news. Now, as Magic City, we are experiencing a few growing pains. For example, do we have enough infrastructure to support this influx of people?
I don't know, Steve. I mean, there's more than 1,000 people moving in every single day into South Florida.
Well, the traffic is reflecting it. Once again, our traffic times have gone from 20, 30 minutes to
at least an hour.
Okay,
I mean,
so
for me, I used to be 30 minutes on the GPS. Now you can add another 15, 20, 30 minutes to my GPS and commute. It is pretty harsh out there.
Now, take everything we say with a grain of salt because we love it here. We want it to grow. But we're just saying there are some growing pains, just like a child growing up. Now, we're growing. Another major issue here is affordability.
I think we finally caught up to the rest of the major cities out there. I've always said it that Miami offered so much for so little, right? It's like our housing was always so affordable. Now, you know, there's always a saying that says, watch out what you ask for, right? Because now we're just as expensive as New York and California.
Now, I have to look closely to the stats, but I've seen reports say that we are now either number 1 or number 2 most expensive cities in America to live, at least for rent, housing costs. Now, inflation, I don't know if it's a worldwide thing, but it's definitely happening here in the United States, and it's of course affecting here, South Florida.
I mean, I think the fact that, everyone that thought that we were so inexpensive was willing to pay so much, and that's why everything got elevated. Because, why not? If you're a landlord, wouldn't you, want to rent it to him that wants to pay $5,000 versus me that I want to pay $3,000? Of course I'll rent it to him. So in this case, that's what happened. Our city has elevated itself to the rest of these amazing other cities out there. So it is what it is. We have to pay the price to live in this gorgeous city. Now, what about sustainability?
So we're growing, and you mentioned a key word, and we're surrounded by it here, and it's underneath us here. Water, the health of our water, our drain system, our sewer system. Do we have clean water coming in? Our cruise ships, which is a big part of the economy, what's their carbon footprint? Things can be better.
I guess we can definitely touch this subject a little bit deeper in our next podcast, but I can definitely say and agree with you that it can be better, especially that we're now in the rainy season. I mean, a little bit of rain here in Wynwood in the downtown area, we need kayaks. So maybe that's another positive of our city. We just have fun with it, with whatever comes at us, right? But I think definitely working in our draining system would definitely help the flow of the water.
When I first moved here to Miami and, North Miami, yes, we do have a drainage issue here. In conclusion, I hope you guys enjoyed our little mini report here. We'll have some more in-depth reports in the future. Now, it's a time to be optimistic. Florida really is the new land of opportunity here in the United States.
You know what? It definitely is. It really is. And it's like, if we can definitely take a piece of this land and make it ours, make it home, make it beautiful, and enjoy this weather. It is a melting pot of cultures, and I think that our cuisine here in Miami shows it. Anywhere you go, you have amazing pizza, amazing tacos, or amazing pasta. Whatever you want, it's there. The beaches are there. The community, it's great. So why not enjoy it? Why not take care of it? And let's just keep ourselves with a very positive mindset and make Miami as welcoming as possible to everyone out there. Ciao.